As a simple demographic matter, we see that opposition to pot legalization is stronger the older you are. We're definitely going to live to see it happen. Prop 19 literally lost in that it did not win enough votes from the people of California to legalize adult possession and growth of marijuana. The proponents of it have made a very convincing case that on a certain level, Prop 19 did win a victory for the larger cause of drug legalization that's going to pan out more in the future. It's the largest percentage for a full adult legalization initiative or proposal that we've ever seen. Its popularity among the young is overwhelming, people under 25 over 60%. And they knew this to begin with. It was going to become an issue of whether they could get those young voters to go to the polls in numbers larger than normal, and they failed at that. 19 is a little bit of, as recently as 2 months ago, it was polling with enough support that I and others actually believed it might win. A successful, although outspent, No on 19 campaign stressed the sort of general fear that a lot of people have about marijuana users and the dumb things they might do. There were elements in the proposal that concerned employers' rights to punish or discipline people who are on marijuana. Those things probably didn't need to be there. I should say that relations between employers and employees about pot or anything else should not be legislated. People had fears, which I think were groundless, that somehow there would be so much more pot use that the danger of drugged driving would increase. Now, of course, we already know that lots and lots and lots of people in California are already smoking marijuana. Neither in California nor any other state that has medically legal pot have we seen any increase in the problem of drugged driving. That was a sort of a classic reefer madness fear that I think was convincing, especially to the older voters who overwhelmed the younger voters in actually coming out to the polls. So California today, like California yesterday, is a state where you can possess and smoke marijuana if you have a recommendation from a medical doctor saying you're able to. We've had that system in place since Prop 215 in 1996. It is not a state, unfortunately, where any adult could possess up to an ounce or grow up to 5 by 5 feet on their own property, which is what Proposition 19 would have given us. Another thing that actually happened almost certainly as a political result of 19 being on the ballot, which is also a great victory for drug law reform. Senate Bill 1449, which Governor Schwarzenegger signed into law last month, almost certainly is an attempt to blunt support for 19, which he, like every other member of California's political class, was violently opposed to. That reduces the punishment for possession of less than an ounce for an adult to what's called a mere infraction, the legal equivalent of a traffic or parking ticket. Individual users in California are reasonably free. They're at least free of the fear of arrest. However, that does not mean that the state of California is not still spending far too many of its police resources and wasting its citizens' time enforcing even this infraction. It's probably going to become a sort of revenue generator almost in the same way that traffic tickets are, which means one of the great benefits of 19 that we're not seeing is that it would have eliminated this on-its-face excuse for police to harass people. The notion that if they smell pot or think they detect pot on you, they can stop you and search you. From a civil rights perspective, even if you don't care about marijuana, particularly if you care about the civil rights of young minorities, to take that weapon out of police's hands would have been one of the great advantages of 19, which is why groups like the California NAACP, the Black Police Officers Association, the Latino Police Officers Association, and LULAC all were part of the Yes on 19 coalition. The last time a Western state had a chance to vote on something equivalent to full adult legalization was Nevada in 2006. It only got 44%. California, we managed to get 46%. And in sheer numbers of voters, it's an enormously larger number, which is significant on the national level. A lot of these Western states, Colorado, Nevada, California, that have been the leaders on the medical issue, you can frequently find polled support for adult legalization over 50%. It didn't pan out that way in the voting yesterday, but those demographics and the demographics of the fact that opponents of drug legalization are aging and dying, I think make it inevitable, whether it's in 4 years or 6 years. Another thing that encourages me is the forces behind these reforms have not lost heart at all. They're still very dedicated to these causes. They have a fair amount of money behind them, though once again, money definitely does not win victories in elections. Yes on 19 outspent No on 19 at least 8 to 1 and still lost. As an educational matter, that kind of money means more opportunities to get a message of sense and logic out to more people. And I and the supporters of 19 were not discouraged too much by what happened. It was very close, and there's every reason to think that the more we give voters a chance to mull over these things, to think about them in an environment free of classic reefer madness, they will come around.